Power up, Ralphie. I think you'll know it when you see it. Sentry mode, Ralphie. Good boy.
Had to switch locations. No longer have power. A lot of stuff happened that night. It's been tough.
And with Call Me, that was Liquid. As we reach the top of the hour, we check in with our top story in international news, as world health experts report a substantial rise in cases of the deadly viral-based neurological disease dubbed Fury 6. Extremely contagious, with an unusually high mortality rate for a virus of its type, Fury 6 has devastated several densely populated centers despite an emergency rollout of experimental vaccines. Several areas have enacted local health mandates requiring masks or proof of vaccination, but it seems there is little to be done to curb the rate of infection. With multiple breakthrough infections in fully vaccinated individuals and rising instances of adverse vaccine reactions, as well as increasing concern toward the long-term consequences of creating a so-called two-tiered society, the viral pandemic has also seen widespread protest in opposition to the vaccine ID and passport legislation being put into place, perceiving it as a human rights violation. More on that at 9, but joining us now for our local news is Barbara Cernick. Barbara? Scanning. Scan.
I've been here at the hideout for a little over a month now. About 5 kilometers from the nearest town, it seems to have been a roadside store gas bar before becoming someone's junk storage. And now it's home. The first sign of the herd was the rats. Hundreds of them, swarming away from the undead that would trap me in my camper for the next 3 days. This isn't even the weirdest start to my day this week.
Hello, this is Survivor Brody. Currently trekking through the woods to get to a bug out location. A good friend of mine said he'd meet me here. Haven't encountered any zombies yet. I'm coming up on the turn. Oh shit, somebody made a bridge through here. I guess I'll be close to the right place. I think I'm in the right spot. He said look for the giant collapsed fort looking thing out of wood. A large opening with a lot of chopped down trees and branches everywhere. I hear something. Shit. It smells like decay around here. Something smells like decay. Like zombies and shit. Shit, I heard one.
This is Survivor Brody here. As rare zombie sightings and hordes become the norm, as they sweep through neighborhoods, terrorize what little people we have left, go through anywhere, overtake anything in their path. Even my old places I used to call home and safe have now been overrun. My favorite parks and old playgrounds that I used to wander as a child have now been victim to the zombie plague. Places that I would want to look out over to find views are now gone.
At first, you might think it's a cold, and it could be. According to the World Health Organization China Joint Mission, as of February 20th, 80% of laboratory-confirmed cases were critical. Anything less than needing oxygen puts you in this category. Severe cases do need supplemental oxygen, and critical ones are defined by respiratory or multi-organ failure. The symptoms, treatments, and timelines of having the disease vary, depending on which category patients fall into. It can take as few as 2 or as many as 14 days after being exposed to the first symptom to develop. This is when it might feel like a cold or the common flu. Many patients develop fevers early on. The World Health Organization China Joint Mission saw that about 88% of people had a fever. Another study out of China showed that while only 44% of patients had a fever on admission to a hospital, 89% eventually developed one. But there have been some cases that led with gastrointestinal symptoms. Diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and/or abdominal discomfort may appear a couple of days before respiratory symptoms. In the early days of infection, the virus invades lung cells. Specifically, this can damage the cilia, the hair-like projections that move around to keep airways clear of mucus and debris. When cells get infected, they die and shed off, adding to the debris and hindering your body's ability to keep stuff out of the lungs and trachea.
Sentry duty while I'm out, Ralphie.
Sentry.